What's going on, guys? This is kind of going to be a more just random discussion about what's been going on recently with the Bleach Thousand Year Blood War anime. There have been some kind of troubling announcements that have come out recently about it in regards to the mostly like how it's going to be. I guess how the anime, the streaming of the anime, like, what streaming platform is most likely going to be on. Like, how are we going to watch this? And a lot of people, I guess, are most likely under the impression like this is most likely going to be on Crunchyroll because, as we know, Crunchyroll has the whole series of Bleach. I mean, Netflix does as well. Like, they both have the rights to it. So I kind of thought that was where this is going to show up. But according to recent announcements, there was a leak that came out. And at first, I didn't really take it too seriously because, like, not a lot of people were really talking about it. But then more reputable sources started to report on this. But the news is basically that the Bleach Thousand Year Blood War anime is going to be supposedly on Disney Plus, or that at least the rights to it had been acquired by Disney Plus, which for a lot of reasons is pretty concerning for people because of the recent example we have of Disney Plus trying to kind of dip their feet into the anime streaming service, basically by acquiring Summertime Rendering. And for anybody who's been watching that series knows, the only real way you can watch that is through third-party sites or through just, torrenting the episodes or something. It's in what is, I guess, you would be referred to as the Disney Plus jail because you can't really watch the episodes as they come out because Disney Plus has decided to supposedly like hold on to, I guess, all the episodes or, not release any of the episodes until the whole series has been out, which is pretty much like the Netflix model of things where they will release the whole season of something so everybody can, people can binge it. But that's not really how things have been done with anime streaming services for the longest time. We're just used to them putting out episodes weekly. And that's how it's worked for a long time. And a lot of these streaming services just don't seem to understand that model and don't want to adopt it. Disney Plus being, a prime example. They're just now getting into anime streaming, and they're not really, they're not really doing it the way that all these other services have been doing it for a long time now. So that's why it concerns a lot of people, and myself included. I don't really believe they're going to censor it or anything like that. That's not really one of my concerns. My main concern is that the whole Disney Plus jail thing, where they're going to just keep, they're just going to wait until the whole thing is out, which this is going to be a fairly long series from what I understand. So I think this would be a huge mistake if they decided to do it this way. But this could mean a few things. This doesn't necessarily, I don't think, mean that it's just going to go to Disney Plus. It could mean that it might potentially go to Hulu as well, considering Disney also owns that. Because as far as we know, Disney Plus has the rights to it. That doesn't necessarily, I guess, mean that it's going to, I guess, exclusively stream on Disney Plus. But yeah, I'll kind of course, with me as always, I would say, I have BlueSpade. So if he wants to give his opinion on what's going on with that.
Yeah, like you said, like originally, like everyone else, including myself, like our first assumption was we're gonna be watching this show on Crunchyroll. I mean, well, unfortunately, like over the past few months, I've noticed there hasn't been a lot of advertising on about the show on Crunchyroll specifically. And while I was at the Crunchyroll Expo last weekend, I was there for 3 full days. And outside of people cosplaying or selling merchandise at their booths or fan art and all that stuff, there was not a single ad. There was no trailer. There was not a single poster like located anywhere in that complex, unless someone can point out like, there may have been something slipped in. But also besides that, there was not a single panel relating to this. Like scheduled throughout the entire 3-day weekend. So that had me scratching my head. I was like, this is going to be like one of the biggest series that's going to be coming back for the first time in in a decade, and there's no advertisements for this on Crunchyroll whatsoever. So when and then of course a few days later when I heard this, it's like there's no way like Disney can just somehow grab one of the biggest series, one of the biggest, most anticipated series like of all time, like just in this way. I mean, for one thing, as we all know, Disney Plus has launched back in 2019, and much of their stuff is like of course revolved or like around Disney stuff, but they also release like their streaming original content over there, like Star Wars, like the shows like Mandalorian and all of this stuff, the MCU series like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, and all that other stuff, and they've been releasing that on a weekly basis, of course. But recently, suddenly Disney wants to get into the anime streaming business. So I think like Disney has gotten rights to show. They've shown like previous anime films, like what was it? I forgot the names of the director. It was
You mean like the Studio Ghibli stuff?
Yeah, the Studio Ghibli stuff. They've been they've gotten some rights to air those in theaters, back in the past. But most recently, I think for anime content was what was it? The anime compilation series called Star Wars Vision.
Yeah.
Now that was released, I think, in September of last year, and that really, of course, got a positive reception. Now it's inspired by the Star Wars universe, but it's not canon, in the main universe itself. But the stories that they've gotten like a variety of different studios to work on the show, with different art styles and the stuff, and they gave it got a positive reception, right? So, and then a few months later, Disney decides, like, because of that positive reception, how about like we just go into the anime business? And so the first major acquisition they got, is of course Summertime Rendering, which is of course a series that that's I'd say about 2 to 3 years old at this point. The manga just recently finished, I think, last year. And right now they're currently airing this on their streaming service. However, the problem is, like you stated before, they're not airing this in the United States. It's only mostly in Japan and in select countries like Indonesia, Hong Kong, I think maybe New Zealand, maybe, and some other countries. But yeah, it's just that. And of course, there is a link to this. But even if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, you cannot. If you're a Disney Plus subscriber in the US, you don't have access to it unless if you try to VPN it, but you won't have the subtitles for it either.
Yeah. And I mean, the problem with this too, the thing that frustrates me too, is that Summertime Rendering would have probably been much more popular if it wasn't exclusively on Disney Plus, and if because of the way Disney Plus is handling this, not as many people know about it, because a lot of people are, especially people in the US, like the only way that we can watch this is to, unfortunately, like watch it on third-party sites. So that's why not as many people as know about the series as they should, I think.
Yeah.
And this is especially going to be a problem for Bleach, which is a long-running shonen series. And, if Thousand Year Blood War is going to be as long as it's speculated to be, which is probably going to be like 50 or so episodes long, like, it's going to be forever until people are able to watch it. If Disney Plus decides to do the same thing with that, where they don't release the episodes, and people are pretty much going to be forced to use other methods to watch it. So I think my issue with this is this is really bad news if it is exclusive to Disney Plus. If there is no other, if it can't be viewed any other way, that's where it's going to be a big problem. Because if it's exclusive to Disney Plus, then it's like we've been saying, it's going to be the same problem as Summertime Rendering, where there's no other way to watch this other than third-party sites. Which
and and speaking of summertime rendering, as of right now, it's on its 18th episode,
Yeah.
and there's still no news. And like normally, the first core is already done. Usually, we would expect to hear some news. Maybe Disney Plus releasing the first half of it at this point already, but they still haven't yet. Like we have no indication if they're going to, if they're going to be releasing it in subbed version, or have they announced any, English dub cast for it as of yet?
Right.
And what and I think there might be some potential news. I mean, there's some
something
rumors.
else I want to touch on real quick is the dub for Bleach. I don't know if somebody who did a video on this brought up a good point. Like, I mean, are we going to be getting the simul dub? Like, probably if this is handled like I think it will be, like probably not, because we're not going to be getting these weekly episodes, and we're not going to be getting like simul dubs. Like we won't. I mean, because the way I thought it would be handled, right, was that it was going to maybe premiere on Adult Swim, potentially even simul dub or something. Like kind of they had been doing that, I think, with Attack on Titan the final season, where they had been like showing some of the episodes on Adult Swim like dubbed. So that's what I thought might happen, is like that might be how we see, also how we see Bleach the final season, is because a lot of people were introduced through Bleach, most likely through Adult Swim in the US. So to me, I think it would make sense from a business standpoint. It's like, if we're going to bring Bleach back, we should probably put it on there as well, so that people could also watch it that way. So that's what I thought would happen, is that it would be premiering on there and then maybe go on Crunchyroll. But the only thing I could figure is that maybe Crunchyroll doesn't have the rights to stream it. Maybe instead it will also, like, maybe, like I said, could go onto Adult Swim and then maybe go onto Hulu. But that could be how it happens as well. That's taking into consideration this isn't going to be exclusive just to Disney Plus. But if it is, then I really have no idea how this is all going to be handled. Especially when it comes to stuff like, the simul dub, if they're going to be like dubbing these episodes not long after they come out. So I don't know how they're going to handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another thing I want to point out is like Disney Plus's sub is not particularly good, because when they originally released Star Wars Visions back in late last year, they didn't really have like a traditional method of properly subbing this like they did with like how Crunchyroll does things, right? They like much of the subs are just closed caption subs. They're not, they don't accurately reflect the translations of of the dialogue spoken in Japanese. It's just basically they're just mostly using the sub dialogue of the English dub and just placing it on there when you're playing it in Japanese right now. But
I feel like the worst case scenario for me is that Disney just they had no idea what they were really buying, and they just saw this is a big franchise in Japan and decided to throw money at it and acquire it, and and when it comes out, they're not going to know how to handle it. That's my biggest fear, is like they, because as Disney as a company, they just throw money at things, and they, don't even really seem to realize what they're even acquiring. Like it's almost kind of like Funimation in a way, where they just, I mean,
yeah. I mean, but with that in mind, it's like, why would Studio Pero or Tiro Kibo like really accept this kind of thing? It's
money.
like I mean, yeah, for that obvious reason, but they're just more or less going to disappoint their fans if like they find out like how this show is going to end up being distributed for obvious reasons.
It doesn't make any sense, especially considering I feel like Kubo really this is like he really does seem to care about the quality of this, especially since he's working so closely with the production, with the anime productions studio, and also it seems like this is, from what I understand, this is like going to be the definitive version of this arc, because there are things he wants to add into this anime that he wasn't able to in the manga. So, I mean, that being taken into consideration, I it's hard for me to believe that he's not that that he doesn't really care about this, or that he just is in it for the money or whatever. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily the case. But I mean, it could be something that maybe it's not entirely in his control. So I mean, who knows?
Yeah, yeah, it's like we only got like what 2 months left, and we still have yet to get any concrete details whether or not this whole situation with Disney Plus getting the rights to it is true. It just seems like it's becoming more likely the more news we keep, the more that comes out, about this whole thing. And the fact, like Crunchyroll, like has not released any sort of promotion relating to this is a bit concerning as well.
Yeah, I mean, and considering how heavily advertised, Bleach has been in the past on Crunchyroll, that's kind of concerning. You would think that Crunchyroll would be like, you'd be inundated with ads about, the Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yeah, and the fact that Sony is, also has the rights to Crunchyroll now. I mean, it's hard for me to really believe that Sony would, is not really going out to try to fight this. Instead, they're just, letting Disney, get the.
I mean, it's like two monopolies fighting each other, because I mean, Sony. I mean, it would actually kind of make sense, because Sony does also want to be a big, like pretty much the main anime company in the US, as far as because I mean, that's why they're acquiring all these different companies, and they themselves are like starting to become a monopoly, which in my opinion is a problem, because I mean, they don't really have a lot of competition. They're just, at some point they're going to be too big, which is also Disney's problem. But I feel like Disney, of course, as we know, Disney is, I think it's probably a bigger monopoly than Sony. So
yeah, it's just Disney wants to join the anime bandwagon,
yeah.
But the problem is, the problem everyone, including you and myself, have is like they don't have the experience to properly distribute this.
Yeah.
It took a while for Netflix, for example. Like, it took them a while for them to finally adopt a method to to release some anime episodes weekly. Yeah. Like, Comey can't communicate and all that other stuff. But it's just like, for Bleach in particular, like, I can understand like if it's a show like Summertime Rendering, because it's like a two-core series, right? But Bleach, like we all know, we don't know how many episodes the 1,000-Year Blood War is going to be.
I think we can all assume it's going to be pretty long. So I mean, that's why this makes no sense. They can't just hold this. Like, they can't just hold all these episodes until it's all over. And I mean, also we got to consider, like, I mean, okay, is there going to be a dub? Like, are they going to do the dub after everything comes out? Like, how are they going to handle that? Like, and then it'll take even longer for the episodes to come out if they're not going to give us the sub version.
What's also concerning too is over the past couple of years, Disney has not released any Blu-ray copies of their previous shows, like The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, I mean, the home video release of this, I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no home video release of like any of those shows, like, anywhere. And I'm concerned, like, with Bleach potentially being on Disney Plus.
I was gonna say, here's the thing too. Like, I wonder if it depends on if Disney is going to let Viz distribute it, because Viz has been the one that distributes the home video release for Bleach. So I guess the question is that going to change now with 1,000-Year Blood War in particular? Like, I guess the question is Disney themselves going to be handling the home video release, or are they going to let Viz handle the home video release of 1,000-Year Blood War when that does happen?
Yeah, and then of course, recently, just last week, we know that Sony and Crunchyroll has acquired Right Stuff. Of course, people don't know, it's one of the more popular anime distribution sites in which you can buy manga, anime Blu-ray collections, memorabilia, and all that other stuff. But with Sony having the rights of that, like, I don't know if Disney is really going to play a part in like distributing that on that on that website of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, because Sony would technically be competition for them if they're trying to enter into the anime market.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's hard to believe they would let their what would actually be their competitor handle that. So I'm not sure. That's also kind of a big question mark. But I think the biggest issue right now is like, is this going to be streamed exclusively on Disney Plus? And if that's the case, like, then we have a lot to worry about. I guess what my conclusion on this is, I really am just waiting for an official announcement regarding this and regarding how it's going to be handled, because I feel like a lot of us has been really left in the dark as to like how this series is going to be like put out, or how the episodes are going to be put out.
Yeah. So apparently there is supposedly going to be some more news on Bleach. I think they said they're going to be doing an announcement sometime next month. I think it was September 11th during an expo in Tokyo. And there's also like Disney's also holding what was it? They're holding their D23 convention in Anaheim next month as well. So hopefully, if there is some concrete news or evidence that they are going to be making an announcement on Bleach around that time, I guess that might be the right time to know for sure. But as of right now, we're going to have to wait maybe a couple more months to really find out for sure.
Yeah, because like you said, if it's not at the Crunchyroll convention, then I mean, it has to be a D23. I would guess if it's true that it's exclusively going to be on Disney Plus or whatever. So I guess we'll get the bad news then. But I guess until then, we're just kind of going to have to speculate on this as to how exactly what's going to happen with this. My hope, like I've said, is that it's not going to be exclusive to Disney Plus. Yeah, I guess it also being on Crunchyroll wouldn't make a lot of sense. I'm hoping at least it'll also be on Hulu. That would be the best choice, especially if you think about it from a business standpoint. It would be, in my opinion, astronomically stupid for them to have it be exclusive to Disney Plus, and for them to still have the business model of, we're not going to release the episodes weekly. What they should do is they should put it on Hulu and have the episodes released weekly, and then maybe eventually then they can move those over to Disney Plus. But I feel like the best choice would be the episodes should go on Hulu. If they're not going to do that, I have no idea how these people are running a company, because I can't fathom how stupid that is. I don't know why they would do it that way, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I think it's just Disney Plus overly eager of wanting to get into the anime business. Into the anime market. It's just, they know how popular it is. They just want to join the bandwagon. And then, like, for them to do that, they're going to acquire like one of the biggest anime series of all time. and thinking that they'll boost in popularity with their streaming site. But in order to do that, they need to commit to releasing these episodes weekly. Otherwise, you're just going to piss off the anime community and just forcing them to watch on third-party sites like we are with Summertime Rendering.
Yeah. So hopefully that's not the case. But I don't really have too much else to say about this, honestly. I guess, like I said, it's really just a wait and see situation right now. A lot of people are just speculating on this, and but we'll just really have to wait until we get an official announcement about it. But I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Nah, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's starting to become a little bit more worrisome for me. As a fan of Bleach, of having to wait for this, this last season for like 10 years. For that long, even though like the manga has technically been done for way before that. It's just like we've been speculating as to whether or not when this last season was ever going to be adapted. And thankfully we got our answers as that we're going to see it again. But just the method of how it's going to be distributed is another thing entirely. Like we might be forced to to wait even much longer than before. after waiting this long.
Yeah. Yeah, this is unfortunately it's really not good news. I mean, I'm really excited that Bleach is returning, but this is really just not the way I wanted it to happen, honestly. I wish it was it had, there were I wish it was in there was a better method of, or better news in regards to how it was going to be streamed. But as of right now, it seems like it's going to be Disney Plus getting the rights to it, and which could I'm trying to be a little bit more optimistic, because like I said, it could mean a few things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's just going to be on Disney Plus, but yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, until next time, guys.
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, we are gonna watch this show regardless of what what side it's gonna be on. It's just it just
sucks because it's like it would be, I mean, obviously a lot more convenient if we could just watch it through an official site or something, as opposed to like having to go through a third party site. And not to mention, like, it does help get the anime more attention, because like we mentioned with summertime rendering, like more people would know about it if it was if it wasn't in the Disney Plus streaming jail. Like, and I'm hoping that's not going to be the case with Bleach, especially considering how many people want to watch it. So that would be a huge mistake if they did that. Hopefully they don't do it, but I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, guys, that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.